Hello, my name is Henry, and I work as the convener for YWAM in Finland. And today we are talking about balance. How do you know when you're out of balance and what to do about it? And what you're about to hear is part of my own journey from the past year, working to restore balance in my own life. Now, balance, it's natural. Every living system, every living organism pursues balance, and it's called homeostasis. It is the state of optimal functioning in a given environment. And we're all different. We work in different environments. So what balance looks like for you will be different from what it looks like for me. And the lens through which I want to look at balance today is that of capacity. Capacity means, first of all, your ability to produce work, your ability to do what you do. And it's not just about what you do today, but what can you do 10 or 15 years down the road. So capacity is always measured across time. And just like balance, capacity looks different from person to person. An artist requires the ability to maintain focus on creative work in silence for hours at a time. And on the other hand, a manager might need to have the ability to shift their focus quickly to be able to run good meetings. There's also another characteristic of capacity I want to highlight. Capacity is your ability to cultivate and condense energy to things that matter. And one of the most obvious signs that you are out of balance is that you lose your ability to cultivate and condense energy to things that matter to you. And instead, you're just going through the motions. You're reacting. You're maintaining. You're just surviving. And the inability to condense energy to things that matter, it leads to reactionary maintenance rather than effective leadership. And today, I want to give you a systematic way of assessing whether or not you are out of balance and what to do about it. And for me, there are 5 levels of losing your balance. And I'll use my fingers to mark each level. And I think it neatly symbolizes us losing our grip. So I think it'll help you remember. So the first one is that you lose your ability to walk in fruit of the Spirit. Now, this is your early warning system. The limits of your capacity are measured by your ability to walk in the fruit of the Spirit under the load of your responsibilities. And when joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control grow thin in your life, you know you are getting out of balance, but you can still hang on with your 4 remaining fingers. So level 2, you begin to compromise your values and you begin to self-medicate. You know, you might value spiritual disciplines or physical exercise or good sleep, healthy food, dedicated time with your friends and family. And when you're out of balance, you begin to compromise. You begin to neglect things you value, and that tends to lead to feelings of shame, frustration, anger, or sorrow, depending on your temperament. And then the flip side to this is self-medicating. When we lose the ability to find joy and satisfaction from challenging things and sacrifice, we turn to sources of artificial happiness. Whatever your dopamine-inducing drug of choice is, whether it's social media or binge watching or high-calorie foods, alcohol or sexual activity, if you find yourself self-medicating, compromising, it's level 2 of our warning system. All right, number 3, you experience a decrease in your performance. You begin to feel less energetic, less focused. You might begin to feel overwhelmed. And you start to experience what I call react, respond, initiate spiral. You increasingly find yourself responding or reacting to things rather than initiating. You begin to experience this constant low-level anxiety, and you might feel like you're constantly behind, and you're only hanging on by 2 fingers by this point. Level 4, you experience a decrease in your health. Your health markers start to deteriorate. You might begin to lose sleep. You might have repeated bouts of colds. Your mental health might start to break down, experiencing depression or anxiety. And you're hanging on by 1 finger, which is the 5th one, illness. You get a diagnosis, whether it's burnout or some physical condition, a mental health condition. And here we are at the bottom of the pit. We've fully lost our grip. What can we do about it? And so for each level of losing our balance, there's a corresponding intervention, a strategy for you to use to regain balance. And we'll go from the bottom of the pit back up. And so first one, medical care. If you find yourself experiencing symptoms of an illness, high blood pressure, or constant headaches, or depression, seek professional health care. That is the appropriate intervention. And once that is dealt with under control, we'll step to the second intervention. Rest. If you're experiencing a deterioration of your health, you're losing sleep, or you're repeatedly sick, you need to break the cycle. And it means you take a longer break, a holiday, a sabbatical, a sick leave, whatever it takes to get rest to restore your balance. And after rest, you can move on to intervention number 3. You're pulling yourself back up to balance. Number 3 is reduction. If you're experiencing a decrease in your performance, you're less energetic, less focused, reacting to things, then the effective and sometimes painful intervention is reduction. You need to reduce the load. You cannot work yourself out of that situation. And this might mean you sit down, you define your values, you define your priorities, you set your limits. You need to seek the Lord. You might have to have difficult conversations. You might have to disappoint some people. You might have to say no to things. And here you might benefit from a coach to help you gain clarity. All right, we're moving up. Intervention number 4, sacrificial living. If you find yourself in a place of compromise and self-medication, the intervention is sacrificial living. Intentional and regular exposure to mild pain and discomfort. And this is because mental well-being comes from sacrificial living in alignment with your values. If you find yourself here, you need to relearn to enjoy difficult, strenuous things. Find a single habit that gives you a course correction. It can be a 30-day dopamine fast. Maybe you can set a 6 a.m. wake-up time. or 10 p.m. bedtime? Or do cold showers? Find a new spiritual discipline, or fasting, or develop an exercise routine. Whatever helps you to live in alignment with your values. And then final intervention. It's called rhythm of life. Now, if you find yourself compromising the fruit of the Spirit in your life, the intervention is to adjust your rhythm of life. First, to make sure there is a rhythm, and then to make sure that rhythm produces life. So you simply look at your schedule. Are you getting sufficient rest? Now, is there something you do just for fun? Do you enjoy an enriching social life with friends and family? Do you have people speaking into your life? And do you participate in the spiritual rhythms of a church community? All right, that's it, friends. A 5-level warning system and effective interventions for you to regain balance in your life. Remember, it's not just about what you can do today. It's about where you will be 10 or 15 years down the road. A little bit too little today is much, much more than even a little bit too much. Thank you.